Welcome back to another video, everyone. Today we're going to talk about who would win in a fight, the Punisher versus John Wick. Now, I'm sure this has been talked about 1,000 times over here on YouTube, but I'm going to try to give my own original, unique spin on this thing. And you may feel different about the result we get at the end of the video, but just know that it is my opinion and you can have yours, and we can have an interesting conversation down in the comment section below. So we have the Boogeyman against the Punisher. Now, the Punisher, Frank Castle, of course I'm picking the version of John Bernthal's most recent and probably the best that we've seen on screen. He was a former US Marine turned vigilante, and John Wick was a former hitman turned into, well, a guy who just wants revenge because someone killed his dog. But hey, that is good enough reason for me. Now, both characters have very similar and very awesome skills. They're both masters at their crafts, and that is fighting hand to hand and using guns. Now, I feel like John Wick has a lot more style to his fighting and gunplay, where the Punisher is this brute force. It's just kind of like a big tank coming at you, and it's just kind of everything, kind of a lot of hate-filled anger and just everything kind of coming at you at once, and that's his fighting with a gun and in hand-to-hand combat. So this makes for an interesting matchup because it's really hard to really think of that about these two guys going at it, because they always end up winning when they fight in their own respective movies and shows, and rightfully so, because of their techniques and how they go about it, and just how great their characters are. So let's talk about gunplay for a second. Now, I think John Wick is better at gunplay than the Punisher, but the Punisher uses everything to his advantage, and he doesn't have all the advantages that John Wick has in the first two movies. The Punisher is a vigilante and pretty much on the run in the first season of the Punisher show, and in the second season, stuff obviously doesn't go his way all the time, and he really has to figure out new things and adapt, and John Wick does too, but he has a lot more things to his disposal, like being able to get the nice tailored suits that have armor in them, have a plethora of weapons that he can pick from various areas, where the Punisher, most of the time, he just has his Punisher bulletproof vest and his pistol. That's pretty much all he has most of the time. Now, John Wick also has his pistol and other things too, but I feel like the Punisher is much more just brute force, like I touched on earlier, and just kind of more blue collar in his fighting, if that makes any sense, where he just kind of use anything and everything to kind of get by, where John Wick is much more calculated and purposeful about the things that he does. Now, in hand-to-hand combat, this is where it gets real interesting. Obviously, they're both really good at hand-to-hand combat, but this kind of goes back again where John Wick is much more meticulous and has a true style and a way he does things that looks like he knows what he's doing, where the Punisher, obviously he knows what he's doing, but it's this brute force, and he just has that look like he's gonna just kill you by smashing your face into the ground with his hands, where John Wick kind of looks like it's nothing personal with a lot of the henchmen that he kills, and it's just kind of like, well, got to get through these guys to get the real person we're going after. Where the Punisher, doesn't matter if you're trying to kill him, he's gonna maybe not enjoy, I don't know the right word to say, but he's gonna make sure you die, and he's gonna make sure that he does everything in his power to make sure that you're dead. Where John Wick's gonna do that, but it's just gonna be more with a straight face, less emotion, just get this done. Where the Punisher's gonna be screaming and grunting, blood over his face, just spit coming out of his mouth, and he's gonna kill you. He's gonna do what he does best, and that's kill you. So these two going at it, I am really not sure who to pick here, who would win. When I talked about Thanos and Darth Vader in a previous video a few months ago, I kind of felt like Vader had an edge because of the Force and lightsabers and all that. Like, it had a significant advantage even with the Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos has. Where here, John Wick and the Punisher, it's very much grounded in our reality here, in real world stuff. Some movie magic that has to go on, obviously. But this is very grounded compared to lightsabers and big purple guys with gauntlets that can make reality change and stuff. So it is much more of an even fight between the Punisher and John Wick. Now, I think if they were to fight, it would really determine on the motivation and the location, because if the Punisher is pissed off about something, he's much more motivated to kill John Wick, let's say. Where if the Punisher's not motivated, who's to say he doesn't give a full 100%? Where John Wick, if he's super motivated, he's obviously going to give 100%, but even if he's not super motivated, he kind of knows it as a job. He's a previous hitman, So he knows how to go about killing someone a lot more analytical, I guess, or a lot more objective than subjective, because he's done it so many times. He knows it's just kind of business as usual, and if it's not a personal vendetta, he will get the job done, of course. But maybe if he's not 100% sold on it, he'll still get it done, but he doesn't need the passion to get it done. Where the Punisher, I feel like he needs the passion and motivation to beat John Wick in a fight, or to kill him, let's say. Where John Wick, I don't think he needs the passion or emotion to take down the Punisher in a fight or a battle to the death, however we want to structure this. So I think we rambled on enough, and you probably want to hear my opinions on who would win in a fight. And I think it is John Wick. I think John Wick would win in a fight. Now, I love the Punisher, don't get me wrong. This is like the Thanos and Darth Vader thing. I like both characters. I think they're both great, and I think the same thing for John Wick and the Punisher. But I just think John Wick is more of a taught fighter, and he's just a better gunsman, and he can probably get out of a situation with fighting the Punisher better than the Punisher can get out of a situation fighting John Wick, if that makes any sense. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, the Punisher is just a brute force. He's a freight train from hell, and if he's not fully motivated, or if he doesn't have a jump on someone, I don't know if he could win that fight. Where John Wick, I think he can, just from all of his training to become a hitman, and all of his background proves that more than likely he could win this fight. Where the Punisher, now of course he could also win the fight too, but I just think John Wick and his training and his life would be better suited in this fight than the Punisher's background going into this fight. Now, the Punisher very easily could win this fight, especially if he's motivated, especially like in season 1 of the Punisher. That was awesome. Where season 2 Punisher, he's not as good as season 1 in my opinion. It's been a while since I've seen season 1, but still I'm gonna hold true to that opinion. Where John Wick, I know the movie spanned like less than a week or whatever, but I just feel like John Wick can get the job done no matter what. Where the Punisher may struggle along in a fight that is above his pay grade, and maybe John Wick is above his pay grade because both these guys are superhuman in their own ways. It would probably be one of those moments like when Billy Russo is fighting the Punisher in season 1, where it could kind of go either way, and then the Punisher kind of turns the tides and wins. I think it'd be like that, but John Wick would turn the tide and win at the very end because of everything he's gone through, and he knows how to get the job done, I think, more in a objective fight more than the Punisher, because the Punisher runs off motivation and passion and his heart and drive, where John Wick, obviously his movies are based on his dog being killed and all that, and then that's his motivation because of a loved one got him that dog. But John Wick is a hitman at the end of the day, and he can probably be more objective, and I think he can win that fight. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think John Wick can win. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Would you take John Wick? Would you take the Punisher? Now, do you feel like another form of the Punisher could beat John Wick? I would love to hear that down below. Do you feel like Thomas Jane, is that his name? The guy from Hung, the old HBO series. Do you think Thomas Jane's Punisher from 2004 would be a better fit for John Wick? Or maybe comic Punisher? I want to know down below, who would you take in a fight with John Wick? Would you pick the current Punisher I'm talking about, or another Punisher? I want to know down below in the comment section, who'd you take in a fight? Hey, while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're almost at 700 subscribers, so if we can get to that point here relatively soon, that'd be really awesome. I want to thank you guys again for tuning into this silly versus video. My last one with Darth Vader and Thanos did really well, so that kind of motivated me to do this video. I've had this video lined up to do for a very long time. I just never got around to doing it, and here we are today, finally getting around to doing it, because I just really didn't know who I wanted to pick this whole time. That's what's made this so difficult, because I love both characters a lot. I think they're awesome. And I think that just about wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching. Everyone have a great day. Make sure to let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Peace out, guys.